I want you to follow your intuition, but your intuition is not telling you you're fucking shit. Let's get that straight, right? Your intuition is not telling you you're a fucking failure and that you can't do it and that this is bullshit and that you're the worst and no one wants you. That is not the tone or vibe of your intuition. That's your inner mean girl. That's the shit, the wounds, the deep inner healing work that you need to do. If that's the inner voice that you have, please let's just get clear on that. That is not the truth. That is not your intuition. That is not you. That is an old, outdated identity. That is your ego. That is your wounds. That is your victimhood. That is the part of you that you must work on so you can actually become an empowered woman who knows to follow the data, follow the numbers, not her emotions.
Welcome to the She Who Dares podcast. I'm your host, Krystal Wilson, the founder of She Who Dares. I'm a specialized breakthrough and mindset coach, business mentor, online course creator, and your number one no BS hype woman. I'm here to remind you who the fuck you are and reignite your personal power through powerful and expanding conversations on all things business, mindset, and energetics, to help you break through to your next level of success in all areas of your life, business, and bank account. Each episode is designed to expand your mind, shift your identity, raise your frequency, as well as give you success strategies to help you step into your highest, most powerful, abundant, successful, and magnetic you. So, I dare you to join me each episode, and I double dare you to implement what you learn and go all in on you. All in on your life, your business, your success. Because if you do, like so many of my She Who Dares clients and students, you will become everything that you know deep down you can be. Ready? Let's friggin' do this. Welcome back to the She Who Dares podcast. I hope you guys have been having a great week. Let's get into something that I feel has served me so well in business over the last decade, but also in my sales career as well. And that is rejection therapy, like getting really comfortable and being able to be secure even when experiencing rejection. The truth is, if you are a woman who is building something, you want to be someone, you're building something, you're building a company, you're building a business, you're building in the online space, you're creating something from the ground up, the very, very truth is that you are going to experience rejection. And you absolutely need to reframe what rejection means to you. And you absolutely need to regulate your nervous system so that even when you are experiencing rejection, you can feel secure and regulated. When we look at the data in business, because numbers don't lie, data doesn't lie, but our emotions do, because of how our brains are wired, 95% being our subconscious, 5% being our conscious mind, is that we cannot always trust what we think and what we feel, especially if we've got a lot of unhealed stuff that we're carrying around, unhealed stuff that we're not even aware of. So when we are operating our businesses and we are allowing our emotions to be the data, that is a huge fucking problem in business. Because when we look at the data of rejection, the data of no's, the data of close percentages, the data of if you speak to 10 people, most likely you're going to have 1 to 2 people say yes. That's just factual. That's just data. That's just industry standards. And the truth is, in business, if you are in the fucking arena and you are giving it your all and you are playing full out, then you are going to get way more no's than you are ever going to get yeses. That is just the truth. It is just fact. If you are allowing every single no to dysregulate you, to take you out of the game, to knock you down, and then you take time to recover from those no's because you give it all this meaning, you are prolonging the yeses, because every no every rejection, you're allowing it to energetically impact you. And so then when you do get up, your energy is impacted, you're not secure, you're not regulated, and then you're continuing to try and get yeses from the wrong energetic state. And so this is why rejection therapy, changing the way that you view no's, your perception of a no, your perception of rejection, is an incredibly powerful tool and process that you want to take yourself through. A little bit of my background. I've been in the online space for a decade, but before that, I worked in high-level sales. And the type of sales that I worked in for 5 years before I started my own business was holiday timeshare sales. Now, I had no pre-information about timeshare when I started in the industry. I had never been exposed to it. I did not know anything about it. However, timeshare has a very aggressive bro style type of marketing and sales system. And so we would lure people in with, hey, you just want a free holiday, but in order to get that free holiday, you have to come and sit a 90-minute sales presentation. Now, when I joined the timeshare sales industry, especially on the Gold Coast, if you traveled on the Gold Coast in the 2000s, the 2010s, it was so saturated. Like you couldn't walk down the street on the Gold Coast without having someone pitch you to come and sit a presentation because you just want a free holiday. And so by the time that people would come in to get their free holiday, but they had to sit this 90-minute presentation, they were already pissed off. They'd already decided that they were not going to buy. They'd already decided that it was a scam. And under no circumstances were they to buy anything. They were just going to sit the 90-minute presentation and they were going to get their free holiday. That is the energy and mindset that people came in. So when I look at timeshare sales, I believe that it is one of the hardest, if not the hardest type of sale, because the person coming in that you're about to do a sales presentation with already doesn't like you, already has decided that this is a scam, and has already made a pact with their partner that under no circumstances are they buying. That was 90% of the people who came in for sales presentations. And so my job, I had multiple roles in the company. I started off doing the trial membership at the end. Then I went into a sales manager role. I also sat on tables, did 90-minute sales presentation. I was kind of trained in almost everything within the company. So my job was to have somebody walk in who's already decided they do not want to buy from me. They hate me. I'm a scam, all the things, and then spend 90 minutes with them going through an exact sales process, a script that would take them from you're a scam, I'm not fucking buying from you, I don't want to be here, to investing $25,000 in a holiday package. That was my job. Now, what we were taught in sales, and I've done extensive sales training because of that, my career in timeshare, was that we would count the no's. We would count the no's, we would celebrate the no's. We would also absolutely review every no. Every no, we would look for the reason why. We wanted to pinpoint exactly where we lost them, why they didn't buy, what we could have done differently. However, we still celebrated those no's, because no's are the only way to get to yeses in business, in sales. There is no reality where you only speak to people who say yes. It's a fantasy. It's not a reality. There's no way. It's not possible. There is always going to be no's, but those no's lead to yeses. And so for a lot of women that I'm working with in business, especially if you've been in a career and then you're transitioning into running a business, building a business, that identity switch from going from an employee, unless you're in sales, your average employee does not get rejected. Do you know what I mean? Like we don't have the internal infrastructure or stamina to really understand or deal with rejection. We make that mean something about themselves. And so when you make the transition from employee to running your own business, the rejection part can feel really fucking hard. It can feel like every no is a personal attack. Every no means that you're shit. Every no just triggers all of your unhealed stuff about yourself and makes you feel like you can't do it. But we need to reframe that, because the truth is you are going to get no's. In fact, you are going to get hundreds, thousand more no's than you are ever going to get yeses. And if every no you get, you allow that no to knock you down, to feed your insecurity, to make you believe that you can't do this, and allow that to feel like rejection, it just gets so hard to keep going, right? So a lot of the time in business, it's not that you can't do it. It's not that you can't be successful. It's how you're reacting to all the things that are meant to happen in business. Like, you're meant to get no's. Not everyone is going to be the right person for you. It's not going to be the right time for them, right? So most women in my world, when I look at the data, because I always fucking look at the data, and I've had to train myself to do this, because if I was to follow my mood and allow my emotions to tell me what was happening, I would be all fucking over the place. So I track everything. I am curious instead of critical. I look at the numbers. I follow the data, and I don't allow my emotions to convince me of a fallacy, of a false truth, because my emotions, that's not what guides you in business. We need to have the masculine and the feminine, right? I want you to follow your intuition, but your intuition is not telling you you're fucking shit. Like, let's get that straight, right? Your intuition is not telling you you're a fucking failure and that you can't do it and that this is bullshit and that you're the worst and no one wants you. That is not the tone or vibe of your intuition. That's your inner mean girl. That's the shit, the wounds, the deep inner healing work that you need to do. If that's the inner voice that you have, please, let's just get clear on that is not the truth. That is not your intuition. That is not you. That is an old, outdated identity. That is your ego. That is your wounds. That is your victimhood. That is the part of you that you must work on so that you can actually become an empowered woman who knows to follow the data, follow the numbers, not her emotions. So because of my time in timeshare and those sales and everything I learn about sales, is I look at every no for how I could improve. I look at my no's through the lens of curiosity to find where I could improve, where I lost them, what language I use, why did they say no? I look for that from a curious standpoint so that I can be better, so that I can refine my practice. And 99.9% of the time, it is something I said, it is something I did, or it's just the wrong time for them. And I just bless and release that. I do not hold on to that. If I was to hold on to every no, I would not be getting fucking yeses at all. So if you're not getting a lot of yeses right now, take responsibility for what you are holding as to why you are allowing the no's to take you out of the game. That's most likely what is happening. So I like to look at my no's from a curious lens so that I can refine and be better, that I can really become good at sales. But I also do not make that no mean something deeply about me and my capabilities, ever, full stop, period. Absolutely not. I could not have been in business for the last 10 years, made the money that I've made the impact that I've made if I was letting no's take me out of the fucking game. Should you be curious as to why each no you're getting? Absolutely. From a lens of learning, for a lens of refinement, from a lens of I want to be better. But the minute you go from I want to refine, I want to do better, I want to be better, to I'm a failure, I can't do this, and you dip into your victimhood, you've lost the game. You've lost the fucking game. You're out of the arena. And you are absolutely going to fail if you allow yourself to continue on that path. The only person who can change this for you is you. Everything starts, ends, and begins with you. So if you are doing any of the things that I'm talking about, clock it and get locked the fuck in on changing this and changing the way you view no's. And I want you to know that every no is closer to a yes. So when you get a no, when you go into victimhood, I'm a failure, I can't do this, nobody likes me, that is not the energy of a woman who can hold a successful business. That is not the energy of a woman who can hold $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $100,000 a year in business. Because if you're letting every no take you out of the game, energetically, you know what you're saying to the universe? I can't fucking handle it. If you think more money, more clients, more revenue in your business eliminates these problems, you would be mistaken. The truth is, If you're earning, I don't know, $1,000 a month, $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month, and you are crumbling under the problems of that level of income, do not be fooled that tripling or 10xing that income doesn't come with problems. It comes with 10x the problems, bigger no's. If you can't handle a $2,000 no, a $100 no, a $1,000 no, how the fuck are you going to handle a $30,000 no? Right? Can you see that it's how you are responding to the no's that is the fucking problem, not the no's. The no's are an inevitable part of business. You are going to get hundreds of no's, thousands of no's. So right now, if you're listening to this episode, this is so important. If this is the stuff that you can bring awareness to that does impact you and does knock you down and does make you think you're not capable, you need to clock this behavior. This is going to be the thing. There are so many things that could take you out of the game, but if you're getting taken out of the game now because you're getting no's, it's like you're going to get hundreds of no's, thousands of no's. No's are an inevitable part of business. You're going to get, if you speak to 10 people and you're good at sales. So some of you have just started a business. You're just learning sales. You're just figuring the things out. Maybe give yourself some compassion and understanding and go and educate yourself on how you could be better. Like, what are you watching? Are you watching Netflix, or are you going and watching stuff on sales on YouTube? You know what I mean? It's also like, look at your input output. So take responsibility for what you're doing and not doing, and also see that you are the problem and you're also the solution. It's what you are making the no mean. That's the problem, not the no. No's are inevitable. You're going to get lots of them. So you better get real fucking comfortable, secure, and regulated when you get a no, so that you can get that no, you can get curious as to why you got that no, learn what you need to learn, and then go for the next. But every time you get a no and you fall down and you stay down and you stop selling and you take yourself out of the game, out of the arena, you are prolonging the yes. So this is where we need to take radical responsibility. Most of the time in business, it's not because you can't, it's not because you're not capable. It's because you're so stuck in making everything mean something negative about you, which is totally linked to victimhood. And you need to see that within yourself. I say that with love, right? And get the fuck up and make a decision that this is my new way that I'm going to look at no's, that I'm going to be curious instead of critical, that I'm going to be love myself and give myself compassion. I'm going to learn this skill. I'm going to get good at it. How do you get good at learning sales? How do you get good at closing sales? How do you get good at something that you are learning and you're new at? Get in the fucking arena. What can you read? What can you learn? What can you implement? Right? It all starts, ends, and begins with you. You are the problem. You are the solution. If you are getting a lot of no's, I hope that you're leaving this episode with a better understanding as to why you might be getting a lot of no's. And if you don't know why you're getting a lot of no's, and your coach or your mentor asks you and you're like, I don't know. Bull fucking shit. You're not looking at it. You're not looking at it, and you're not willing to see why you're getting no's, because you're being super critical of yourself instead of being curious. Right? So instead of looking at the no and being, cool, how could I have refined or improved this? Where can I see that I got this wrong? Did I speak more than I could have listened? Could I have asked more powerful questions? Did I really understand what her need was? Whatever it is, you're not doing that work. You're just getting a no and you're deciding you're a failure and you're going into your victimhood and you're giving up. And the She Who Dares woman does not give up. Do you know how many no's I've gotten? Thousands. I've had people in my timeshare career tell me to fuck off. And then I've closed the deal in 90 minutes. Because you know why? I'm really big on building relationships. I'm never looking for a sale. Never looking for a sale. I'm always looking to connect. I'm always looking to find their deeper reason why they need this. And I'm always looking to build relationships. And those things, which are truly part of my value system, is what always leads to sales. Do I always get sales? No, because the same fucking rule applies to me as well. If I speak to 10 people, a huge percentage of the 10 people are going to say no to me. A much small percentage are going to say yes. But I don't make those no's mean jack shit about shit, and they definitely don't take me out of the game. I'm like, cool, what can I learn? Move it on. I'm going for my yes, because I celebrate my no's. I'm curious about why I got a no. And then I move the fuck on, and I move on really quickly. And that serves me really well in business. Now, if you can identify that this is something that you get triggered by, or that you're really dysregulated by, or that you feel really insecure about, the first thing I want you to do is give yourself something different to what you usually give yourself, which is some love, some understanding, some compassion. You know, a lot of you are new. You're learning new skills. You're not meant to be a gun at fucking sales. Not yet. But what are you doing to become good at it, right? It's okay to be like, I'm not really good at sales right now. Cool. We wouldn't expect you to be. I spent 5 years training sales every fucking day. So if you're looking at me in business and you're thinking it's easier, I've got a different skill set. I've got a different skill set to you. You're comparing an apple and an orange, and you're doing this, you need to clock because it's taking you out of the game. If you're new to business and you've never ever done sales before, have a little bit of fucking understanding and compassion for yourself, right? You can't let the no's get you down. You're just learning a new skill. But are you actually learning that skill? Are you doing anything to learn that skill? I mean, in my sales career, and I was an employee on straight commission, I used to read a sales book a month. I was obsessed with learning sales. I was obsessed with learning how to close. Now, my boss didn't make that the thing I needed to do, but I am driven. I'm ambitious. I want to be great at what I do. So you bet you I show up in the fucking arena to learn the skill so that I can be the best that I can be. I don't just get a no and be like, I'm a failure. Boo-hoo. No. I have read so many sales books to become great at sales. Plus, I attended so many things that was required for my work at the time, working in that company. But I went above the requirement to get good at sales. I hope that this episode has inspired you and activated you for you to take radical responsibility to change your relationship with getting no's, because you're going to get a lot of fucking no's. And right now, you're getting a very small amount of no's because you're new in business or you're starting something new, and you're letting all of those no's take you out of the game. And all you're energetically doing is telling the universe, I can't fucking do this. I can't handle this. And it's not the no's, it's that you're dysregulated, that you need nervous system work. You need to heal the wounds within you that are bleeding all over your business, all over your capability, all over your opportunity. That's what the work that you need. Now, guys, I'm holding a workshop on Monday, the 20th of October. This is the She Who Dares Unlock Your Next Level of Success, Impact, and Income. I'm going to be teaching you the 4 archetypes that I see play out in women in business, having been in business for 10 years, worked with 500 plus women. And then I'm going to teach you the embodied archetype that will unlock your next level of success, impact, and income. Now, if you're a woman in business or you have a desire to start a business, you want to be on this workshop, I'm going to pop the link to register in the show notes for you. Get your spot, secure it in, lock it in. If you can't be on live, that's okay. You're going to get the replay for 5 days. You do not want to miss this workshop. What I'm going to be teaching you is going to set you up for an exponential 2026, but also finish 2025 strong and aligned as fuck. Let's go.
Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. If you loved this episode, be sure to share that with me by leaving me a review, and head over to the She Who Dares official Instagram account at She Who Dares Official, hit follow, slide into my DMs, and share with me the impact this episode has had on you. And before you go, I'm going to leave you with this. The universe is responding to you. It is following your lead. You are the one who has to move first. And when you do, the whole universe will move with you, because it's I lead, the universe follows. When I move, the universe moves with me. That is our official She Who Dares mantra. I want you to write it down, put it on a mirror, and I want you to remind yourself of it every day. When I lead, the universe follows. When I move, the universe moves with me. When you follow this She Who Dares mantra, you are going to unlock the magic of the universe, and you are stepping into your most powerful self. I can't wait to see you for the next episode. Thanks for being here.